Making a difference does not have to entail grand gestures. The greatest impact I can make in my community is truly loving humanity. That love manifests itself in several ways. Advocating for justice, serving others who are disenfranchised and less fortunate. This was demonstrated by my recent mission trip to the Dominican Republic, where I had the opportunity to build a church, deliver food and other goods to families, and serve over 200 young people in our children ministry outreach. Being compassionate to the suffering of others, as I do with my volunteer work with Be My Eyes, an organization that pairs the sighted with the sight impaired to assist them with everyday tasks. I show love by serving where I am needed. Through my volunteer work at the Virgin Islands Children Museum, Seat Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center, and Hibiscus Learning Center. I live a life of a student leader. In my capacity as Student Council President, Senior Class President, and National Honor Society Secretary, I place the needs of those I serve in the highest regard. As a member of FEMA's Youth Preparedness Council, I am working to keep the community informed and prepared for disasters. I believe that everyone has something unique to contribute to the world. My prayer is that I make a positive difference in the life of even one person, and that that person would extend their kindness to someone else. Even the smallest efforts to effect positive changes are not in vain. That is how we truly make a difference in our community and in our world. Embracing the value of service to others fosters a culture where kindness, compassion, and selflessness thrive, ultimately building a world where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. Thank you.
And thank you for doing an amazing job with youth. And one day perhaps we should have a meeting and you will tell me about building the church for youth. It's something that definitely youth all over the world and all over the place and on our island should learn from you. So thank you for being such an inspirational example, and may you always feel God's presence within you. Thank you. And I would like to ask Diana Spree from St. Peter and Paul Catholic School to come and join us and read us your essay, please.
Good evening, everyone. I am Diana Esprit, a proud Jaguar senior from the St. Peter and Paul Catholic School. What would I do to change the world for the better? An intriguing question. Change is the ability to make someone or something different. Sometimes it can be for the better or for the worse. Nevertheless, the type of change that I would like to see in this world today is changes which pertain to mental health. Mental health is a state of mental well-being that includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being that affects how we think and feel. This, in turn, enables us to handle the stresses of life, realize our abilities, learn and work efficiently, and contribute to our community. Mental illnesses that have been ignored or untreated can interrupt that balance and create many problems, such as unemployment, substance abuse, homelessness, incarceration, and overall a poor quality of life. Many people suffering from untreated mental illnesses are also unable to work, and as a result, they're unable to pay for day-to-day expenses, eventually leading to homelessness. The stress of the workplace takes a toll on everyone who is engaged in it day to day. Sometimes we might have agreements or encounter unfair treatment. When this arises, we must be able to self-soothe. Many people today are unable to do so, and as a result, turn to other means of coping, which includes drugs. People who suffer from severe mental illnesses are at risk of turning to substance abuse to cope with depression, anxiety, and other stressors. Substance abuse can progress to addiction, causing people to become desperate for the substance, which leads to theft and eventually jail. According to the Washington Post, in the United States alone, since the Columbine High School massacre, there have been 392 school shootings in which the majority of the perpetrators suffered from severe, untreated mental illnesses. Again, the proof is in the pudding. Many of our students often fall victims to bullying, which is also a catalyst for destructive behaviors, including drug and alcohol abuse. Mental illnesses affect every ethnicity, culture, and family around the world. Overall, untreated mental illnesses can lead to a poor quality of life. Without a good education and an honest, profitable means of acquiring money, life can be daunting. By creating accessible mental health services and destigmatizing mental self-care, people would become more open to seeking help for their illness and to be able to live their daily lives with peace of mind. Let's bring it a little closer to home. In the 2021 Kids Court USVI data book published in December of 2021, St. Croix Foundation reported on data from the 2018 USVI Youth Risk Behavior Survey, which indicated that 22.5% of middle schoolers seriously considered suicide, and among high school respondents, 35.5% felt so sad or hopeless almost every day for 2 or more weeks that they stopped doing some usual activities. These numbers are alarming. I've decided to assist in making a change for those who experience mental illness by creating a clothing brand that celebrates vibrant self-expression through a range of colorful hoodies, shirts, hats, pants, and various clothes and bags suitable for all ages. Each piece of clothing, whether it be a shirt, sweater, hoodie, sweatpants, blouse, or bag, will be adorned with empowering imagery related to mental health. With every purchase, customers will receive a heartfelt word of gratitude, along with a pamphlet that would educate people and reduce the stigma associated with mental illnesses, delving into the complexities of mental illness and emphasizing the importance of seeking help. My clothing brand's mission extends beyond fashion, as the majority of its revenue would be dedicated to supporting psychiatric institutions and facilities focused on treating mental illness. Through this endeavor, my clothing brand aims to not only become a popular fashion destination for people of all ages, but also to actively combat the stigma surrounding mental health, one garment and pamphlet at a time. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. We, as a people, should work towards creating more accessible mental health services and an inclusive environment to those who suffer from mental illnesses can be equipped to withstand the challenges and obstacles that life throws at them." Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leanna. And it's such an important subject that you're touching. And I have to say, a few minutes ago, I was just saying that it's the first time that I'm becoming part of this beautiful celebration of the next generation and the youth of this island. And I have to say, every moment that I'm listening to more and more of these essays, I just realize that I think we have a very good chance and a lot of hope with important subjects that all of you are talking about, and the most importantly is that the ideas of Dr. King still alive, and you passionate, and when I say you, I mean all of you guys, passionate about it exactly as he was. So thank you so much. Thank you. And unfortunately, our last speaker for tonight, just before we will go to Camille McHale, Jackson Archinoclus. It's like in my back-fed Greek wedding, right? Like, okay, so I will get there. Archinoclus from Peter Gruber International Academy. Thank you for being with us and welcome. And it's your turn. Please loudly.
I'd like to thank the Hebrew Congregation of St. Thomas for putting on such a wonderful service, and to thank you all for coming and joining us all here to celebrate myself and these other wonderful young people in our community. And I'd also like to thank my friends and family who are here, and the faculty at Virgin Islands Montessori School who helped support me. If Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today, and he asked me the question, what would you do to change the community, the nation, or the world? First, I'd have to tell him I have to think about it. And then, after that, I would probably respond to him with this essay. One of my passions is helping others. I love to lift others up, whether that's from low depths or up to filling their potential. Because of this, I would help to solve the global issue of climate change. More specifically, I would focus on those aspects of climate change that affect the most vulnerable of those in society, such as the impoverished, minorities, and the old and sick. Most of the worst effects of climate change are felt by these groups of people who have no system to support them. By working towards a solution to climate change, I would hope to alleviate some of the weight that those systemic issues within our society hold them down with. In my opinion, climate change is the largest threat humanity has ever faced. It presents a difficult challenge to humankind, specifically because it is preventable, yet it is allowed to carry on in its destructive path. Furthermore, this issue is something that has been left unsolved because it would require change in humanity's way of life on a scale unseen since the Industrial Revolution. My contribution to the solution would be to make this change possible and easy for everyone. Much of sustainable technology, such as electric cars and solar panels, is very expensive, meaning the majority of people can't afford it. I want to design an affordable electric car and different ways for people with lower incomes to receive clean energy. I would also like to change the way many systems function, not drastically, but practically and efficiently. For example, most construction work is terrible for the environment. It causes runoff into the ocean, results in deforestation, or causes habitat loss. By changing the way contractors build around and interact with the world around them, a large contributor to environmental destruction could become something that helps to save the environment instead. By providing the equitable distribution of these kinds of solutions and targeting the groups that need the most help, I would try to solve climate change from the ground up, building a brighter, cleaner future in the process. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hope that this present, and I'm mentioning all of you sitting here tonight, I hope that the present, the financial side will help a little bit to achieve those beautiful dreams. And thank you for such a beautiful essay and for beautiful ideas, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Marilyn. And just before my president will introduce our next speaker, I just want to give you a blessing. May the one who blessed all of you here, together with our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you as you came to this event, to the synagogue, in honor of this place, in honor of celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King. May the merit from Holy One be always blessings of protection, rescue from any trouble or distress, from any illness, minor or serious. May God send you blessing and success in your any endeavor together with all Israel and all over the world, and let us say, Amen.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm speaking into the mic and that you can hear me. As president of the Hebrew congregation and on behalf of the board of directors and our entire family of members, both here and on Zoom, and of course our rabbi, I'd like to welcome everyone who is here tonight. We have senators, we have clergy, we have students, we have teachers, educators, families. This is an amazing group of people we've put together, and I welcome all of you. I would like to express our pride in tonight's service honoring our students who value and exemplify Dr. Martin Luther King and his ideals. As Dr. King said, intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. We've been conducting this synagogue event annually for many years with a sense of true admiration for all those who've been honored tonight and all those who've been honored in the past. You are truly icons of Dr. King, who preached equality, nonviolence, and the end of war. And as we're joined together on this Sabbath evening, people of different cultural origins and religious affiliations, we recognize that despite our differences, we remain brothers and sisters with a connection to our students who have shown a profound understanding of the teachings of Dr. King and who we know will keep his legacy alive, as will the Hebrew congregation and all of you. And before I introduce our guest, I would like to just express one last set of Dr. King's profound words for all of us, young and old. Make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a greater person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in. And now I'm honored to introduce our guest speaker this evening, Dr. Camille McHale, who is the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of the Virgin Islands, having begun there way back in 1996. Just briefly, as you can read more about Dr. McHale in our service booklet, Dr. McHale, in addition to her current important mainstream role at UVI, has worked with youth and mathematics, served on the VI Montessori School and International Academy Board of Trustees, and was also instrumental in starting the International Baccalaureate program there. Without further ado, I proudly call Dr. McHale to the microphone and wish you all a good Sabbath, and may we all stay healthy and safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to be here this evening. It is very difficult to follow 8 amazing essays, but they're 8 amazing essays that give us hope for the future. So thank you, students, for taking on the challenge. So this week, on Monday, January 15th, we will, as a nation, celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. The third Monday in January became a national holiday in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King in 1983 and was first observed in 1985. So what is it that we celebrate, and why do we celebrate? Dr. King is the first private citizen to have a national day in his honor. And evens 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 and evens